What's up, everybody? I'm here with Max King, the one and only, and we're going to give you a little tour and discussion around the Max King Marathon program. Thanks for joining me, Max.
Yeah, it's good to be on. Looking forward to this.
Sweet. So if you're watching this on YouTube, we are going to show a demo of the actual app and the screens and everything. So stay tuned for that. But Max, tell us who is this program designed for? Who's the bullseye for?
Yeah, when
Where's the fit for this program?
when I was creating this marathon program, I wanted it to be pretty broad based, kind of applicable to a lot of different athletes, and so it'll go anywhere from kind of your athlete kind of like jumping into a marathon for the first time. Maybe you've done some half marathons and you want to just jump into a marathon. It's appropriate for that level, kind of that lower level, and then all the way through up to I don't know what I'd probably call pretty experienced, like a marathoner who's done several marathons, but they want to get faster. Right, it's a somewhat high volume runner, upwards of 70 plus miles per week, and used to workouts, know what they are, and they're ready for kind of a heavier load. And so this will go; it'll span that whole range. What I would say is like somebody just getting off the couch, this is going to be a tough program for them. And on the other end of the spectrum, if you're an elite athlete, if you're really experienced and if you're going for that Olympic trials qualifying time, for example, this probably isn't going to quite hit that level there. But it's going to hit 95% of that bell curve of marathoners out there. So
Yeah, if you're running a sub 220 marathon, there's probably not a training program for you. You're probably working with a coach or really getting to nitty gritty there.
yeah.
Okay, awesome. All right, well, maybe we should just dive in. I do want to say there have been a number of Tracer users report PRs in marathons after using this program.
Yeah.
And I'm personally aware of a few of those. One, an older gentleman who had problems getting injured and got the Tracer program and got through. And from what I remember, he set a PR on a really bad day and then went out like 2 weeks later and set another PR off of after using this program. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then other people who there's another situation I'm remembering where this person, she has been training for years. I mean, her whole life she's been a runner, has run many marathons, and 11 years ago had her first child and thought that her fastest times were behind her. And 11 years later, she gets on Tracer, rips through a training block with your program, and takes 11 minutes off of her marathon time.
Wow.
And then goes on to crush a 50 miler. I don't even think she necessarily trained directly for the 50. She just kind of took her fitness into the 50 miler. And I think she took like third or fourth female on a pretty difficult race. So
Cool.
there are some stories on our website that people can check out that are actually written by those people. So yeah, without further ado, maybe we should just give people a demo here.
Yeah, let's jump in.
So if you're looking at my screen here, we're going to go into the King Marathon and we're going to enroll in this. And let's pick a race date out, maybe 2 or 3 months here. That's fine. We'll say May 31st. Here's where we're going to set our schedule. So I'm going to say we're available for, let's do a 5-day-a-week program. So we'll say unavailable Thursday. We'll pretend I've got some work stuff. Friday and Saturday, I could do a long, and then Sunday's my preferred rest day. Let's go ahead and say I'm currently running 20 to 30 miles. So I've got a little bit of volume, but not a lot. And long run, yeah, we'll say 10 to 12 miles here. Typical easy pace, 8:30 to 10. And we'll put this at 5 because that's how we lined it up here. So there's the onboarding questions. Every Go ahead, Max.
Well, and just to touch on those questions, I mean, the whole reason why those questions are in there is so that we kind of have this starting point and, how we want to structure that program. And so these questions are very targeted specifically for this program. When you go into it, I want to know how many miles a week you're currently running, because that's going to give us a good starting point. I also want to know kind of like how many days a week you're running, so that we can kind of adjust that inside your schedule and make sure that this is a program that is going to work with your schedule. It's not just a static training program. And each of the questions has a purpose, and the schedule builds off of that, off of those questions, so that it's a customized program for you. And so take those seriously. I mean, those questions are meant to be like built into the program. And so they should work for you, and so that the program works for you.
Yeah, well said, Max. Okay, so I pushed enroll and out pops 2 weeks of my training. Today's happens to be Thursday, so I told it I was unavailable on these days. Let's go ahead and say, actually, today tricked you. I am available. Let's see what it does. Okay, it gave me an easy run. Now we're seeing a lot of easy runs, 40 minutes long. That's likely because my volume was answered low in the beginning.
Yep. And so easy runs and your weekly mileage should kind of correlate to what you start out as. You mentioned that your long run was like you've been doing 10 to 12 miles. And so long runs are going to start out right around in that range and build from there, getting upwards to close to, if not at that marathon distance, probably close to, for this particular person. As well as like the first couple of weeks are going to stay pretty easy. Like we've put in the description at the beginning, we want to make sure that you're kind of starting out with not a lot of fatigue left over from a previous race, a previous program. And so I usually start these programs out, especially this far out from a race. We're 3 months out right now. I want to make sure that you're nice and fresh going into the program. So we make the first week to 2 weeks pretty easy, pretty chill before we start getting into some harder long runs, workouts, things like that. And so, you're going to see a lot of easy runs in those first 2 weeks there. And like you just did, Joey, you change that rest day to, you're available today. You want to go for a run, right? And so the beauty of this program is you get to change those days when you want to and make it work for your own schedule. So if you have a work obligation next Tuesday, for example, and you need a day off, you can go into the system, put that in there, and that'll correct the rest of the program, so that it matches up with your schedule and works for you.
Awesome. So yeah, we're seeing like easy runs of 40 minutes, and then they start to bump up a little bit. We get into 50. And then obviously there's this key workout here on the March 3rd for our first real harder effort, which is a threshold run. And there's very few of these here. So if somebody's looking at this and they're like, hey, I'm used to doing workouts, could they throw one in here somewhere and just kind of roll with it, or would you recommend that they really do start a couple weeks easy?
I'd recommend that they start with a couple weeks easy, but if you're coming off of a program where you've been doing workouts and you're just kind of jumping into Tracer as something to try out, then by all means, like if you know kind of what your body can do, throw in a workout. Start with maybe something a little bit easier, but use the workouts so that you can figure out what else is in there. And so like Joe, you have the ability right now to go in and pick the workouts that you want to do, whether it's, you already see a threshold run there. You can do a long distance interval day. You can do a short distance interval day, but just checking on what other workouts you're going to start to see throughout that program is a good way to go, just to kind of explore it. You can read about each of the workouts, what they're meant to do, how to structure them, and then the different levels and stuff like that in the workout that you're going to start to see as you move through the workout, or through the program rather, up until race day. And so that kind of starts to build, like each of those workouts builds on themselves. You see that threshold run in the program on that second week. And that will only build on itself. You'll have some threshold runs, some long distance workouts, or long distance interval workouts, some short distance interval workouts, things like that. And each of those workouts are kind of what you're going to see in most standard training programs. The beauty of it is that they're going to move around and you can actually move them around based on how you feel each day. So, Joey, if you go to that threshold run and say, oh, I'm tired and sore that day, and that is going to push that workout over a day. If you're tired and sore on that Monday, you're like, I just do not feel like I can get that workout in. And what we're looking for is like, if you can't get that workout in, and it's going to be impacted by how you're feeling, push it a day. That's the beauty of this program, and that's what we want you to do is push it to a day. It'll pop over to Tuesday in this case, and hopefully onto a day where you feel good and you're able to get the most out of that workout.
So let's throw it a curveball here, and let's say that I went through these first 2 weeks, and then I got a little antsy here, and I did the workout early. So let's just put a threshold run on. I went out with some friends, and they were running too fast for me, and here we are. Did a threshold on Saturday.
Okay.
You can see here that not only did the threshold run disappear here, but it actually changed the workout too.
Yeah.
And why did it do that, Max?
Because I don't want you to do another threshold run in the same week, right? I want to mix things up a little bit. And so we're going to throw in a long distance interval a couple days later. I'm going to give you a couple days of rest in between, and then put in a long distance interval because that's going to work slightly different systems, and be a little bit different stimulus on your physiological systems. And so that's why I'm kind of moving that around. Especially like, you can see between when you put that threshold run into the long distance interval, you've now got 3 days instead of just like kind of a standard 2. I wanted to give you a little bit more rest in there because you did a easy long run plus a threshold run back to back, loading your body a little bit more with a little bit more stress. And so we kind of pushed that another day. And so, yeah, that's, kind of moving that stuff around based on your own schedule and what you're doing and what's going on with your body.
Yeah. So I just turned off the bad feelings too, the soreness and tiredness, and it didn't change the workout. It did change the duration, it looks like, of the workout, but and that's because before you had not done a threshold run. But let's go ahead and take that out now. We'll go back to just we did what we were told, and there's that threshold. So you can see there's like all kinds of situations. If you're watching this, there's all kinds of crazy situations that happen where this thing knows how to shift things around just right. Even if you did, let's go in and let's say that I didn't do threshold on this Saturday day, but let's say that I did a long distance intervals workout. And you can see it's smart enough to do the same thing. It swapped it. Let's say we don't feel right on maybe this day. Yep, just took it away. So, yeah,
and
it's
the reason
responding well to the features.
Joey, that it didn't push it to the next day is you've got that rest day on there. You've said you're unavailable on that Thursday. And so like just moving a threshold one day isn't what we're after, right? Because you're unavailable the next day. We don't want to push it 2 days later because that's your long run day. And so we just completely took that threshold off of there. And we're going to move that even to the next week, or even cancel that workout off. If it doesn't fall in and doesn't work with your schedule that week, then we're going to cancel it off, jump back in with, long run, and then going into the regular schedule for the next week. And so, there's all these different situations that what Tracer is taking into account. So sometimes it'll push that workout a day. Sometimes it'll cancel that workout off, depending on what else you've got coming up. There's times where I'll prioritize in the programs, I'll prioritize a long run over a workout because that's what I want you to get in. Sometimes I'll prioritize a workout over a long run because that's more important at that time during your training cycle. So there's all these different situations where, Tracer is really, really important. And that's where I see the value of Tracer is that, it's a training program that I've created, but it's not just a static program that I'm handing over on a piece of paper. That doesn't change with what you're doing in your real life. This is a program that changes based on, what you're doing, your schedule, things that come up, how your body's reacting to it. And that's the beauty of it. That's what's really, really cool. So
Absolutely. So yeah, what if easy? You're going to get a few easy weeks on this program. So don't be alarmed if you don't see a lot of workouts in those first couple weeks. You're definitely going to get plenty of those as the program goes on. I've seen it. Yeah, it's going to adapt to your schedule, your life, your feelings. And this comes straight from Max King. This is all his data that is reflected here in the app when you sign up for a Max King program. And if you sign up for another program from a different coach, their brain and their methodology is going to be represented by the software for that program. So, all right, Max, thanks so much for joining me to do this. And for those of you who are interested in smashing your next marathon with this thing, let us know. You can email us at info@tracerfitness.com. We do a 14-day free trial. So you can sign up for this and try it for a few weeks before you have to pay anything. And we also stand by, we guarantee results. So like if you execute well, you do your thing, and you don't feel like this is helping you, you can just let us know and we will push a button and give you your money back, because we're confident that you're going to see results and you're going to enjoy this and you're going to get faster. So thanks, Max. Appreciate it, man.
yeah, man, looking forward to more people crushing PRs on the marathon program. It's cool to see.
Yeah. And if you do out there, write us and let us know how you did. We love to hear your stories, good or bad, but we love to hear your stories. And let us know.